I
All right,
transferred
so
it.
All right, so
we'll pretty much just start it.
yeah, we'll do the
Throw us in.
all right. Beep
Ooh.
boop da boop beep boop bleep
Bop, bop, ba-da, ba-da, bop, bop.
beep boop
Beep, boop, boop, boop,
bleep
boop.
Ba-da-doop, bop, bop,
beep boop
bop.
bop bleep boop.
I think we can call it there.
I think we call it there.
I could have kept going the whole time.
Yo,
We could
know,
pop
Winnie,
for
we
an
know.
hour. We could pop for an hour, but we gotta get it
All
going.
right. The Sci-Fi Rebellion Podcast. Welcome and hello.
Hello, I am John Winne, and I represent the minds of myself. There is Jarod. Over there is Jarod.
right there.
Yeah. What?
I'm Jarod. I bring to the table less knowledge, but a unique perspective.
My name is Cole Pernice, and I bring the fresh Italian viewpoints to almost anything I talk about. And I'm
Bring a
really
little
the
of
leader
that
the group.
pepperoni.
So- and sausage and linguine.
Oh.
Today we're going to be talking about some of the new things coming out, such as Invincible Season 1, which just wrapped, and the two most recent Bad Batch episodes, as well as the Venom 2 trailer. So,
Yummy.
without further ado, how'd you guys like Season 1 of Invincible?
Dude, what a show. What a show. I remember the first episode I watched like a few months ago, and I think I was like a little distracted. I was like playing video games or something at the same time. Went back, watched the first episode, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what did I miss this first time? And
The ending, apparently.
apparently, I honestly, there's a chance that I was just like, well, the credits have come. It's my time to go. So I watched 5 episodes in one sitting, and it was incredible, dude. And then the other 3 I had to save for the next day. But Jarod, I remember talking a little bit about it with you. When you watched the end of the first episode, did you like know anything about it or see that coming at all?
No, so I wasn't even preferenced with the fact that like some people going into the show, they heard about like the first episode.
The big thing.
It sets it off, like, and I didn't go into it knowing that at all. So I just was like, oh, new series, looks tasty, let me give it a try.
New superhero show. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, and I threw it on, and I feel like if you watch the first episode and you're not like hooked after the first episode, it's probably not the show for you, because after the first episode, I was just like, feed me more, I'm ready. Then I had to wait. They released it weekly after like the first 2 episodes, and that hurts my soul. But
unfortunately, it seems like streaming services, we were like, they're like, yeah, we're gonna take away the cable, we're gonna like be the competition, we're gonna release everything at once, and then as streaming services have like entered the stratosphere, it's like, all right, we're going back to weekly releases, boys. It's like, wait, why did I switch?
I honestly think that's smart though, because it
keeps you engaged, and you
people
can like speculate.
Yeah, you get to like talk about it week to week, whereas most consumers, I feel like nowadays, binge watch stuff so hard that they watch it in the first week and then they're like, why do I have to wait a year for the next season?
Yep.
I think
like,
it's better that way.
Time
actually.
for 3 years of fan theories. Let's go.
Yeah.
Now, in episode 2, at the minute mark of 22:17, you'll see that the clone moved his left foot rather than his right, which obviously
shows they are
means
not in the right.
Yes, and he is clearly a Jedi, Force user, possibly son of Palpatine. I mean, it's quite possible.
On Star Wars, that's not too far off the realm of possibility now. What I thought about Invincible was it seems like it's kind of like somewhere between The Boys and I know Jared, you watched it when we were watching throughout the house. I don't know when if you've seen it. Young Justice seems like a good kind of like mix between those two, where it's like definitely geared towards older audiences and definitely has like obviously the blood and the gore with the splatter on the Invincible logo, but also seems like it's dealing a lot with like how these mainly younger heroes after that first episode, how the younger heroes are kind of like dealing with like being a hero, but in a much more like realistic way, kind of.
Yeah, and I think some people were like saying that it's just as like bloody and gory as the boys. I
Feels
think
bloody.
they actually do more bloody and gory stuff,
Dude.
and they get to do way more stuff because it's animated, and so
Mhm.
they just do it all. Now the animation's gonna get better, I'm sure, but as of for the first season, yeah, it was pretty it was a spectacle of gore
For
for
real.
That's
For
for
real.
sure.
I don't think I've ever watched an animated show that made use of that art form in like such a great way. Like I think Rick and Morty has always been a great example of like the crazy shit that you can do with animated
Mhm.
shows. But with Invincible it was like they even did some different styles of animation. Like I don't know if you remember at the end in like episode 4 or 5 or whatever, after those guys come to the planet like 3 times, and then Omni-Man just goes through the portal and like
Yeah.
wrecks
Oh
shit.
yeah.
That entire
Obliterate.
scene, like they changed the animation style, like the music comes in hard and it's
Yeah.
epic.
Gave
It's
me like
literally
Muse
epic.
vibes.
Yes, yeah, for
Yeah,
real, dude.
it was cool. I really like that. I also like how like even just usually whenever like a show or something introduces kind of like otherworldly aspects, like it's at a much surface level. Like Rick and Morty's the only kind of thing where they're like, well, obviously these other planets would be equally like complex and diverse as like ours is. I feel like Invincible's kind of doing that with like how I forget their names, but the aliens when they came to Earth, they started aging really rapidly, and they were like because of the time dilation, and they had to get that all worked out, and that one Alan who came to Earth and fought Invincible, and then was like, oh wait, shit, this is the wrong place. Like it was just cool. Although no, he realized he was a Voltramite,
Yeah,
A
yeah.
Voltron,
Viltrum.
Voltron. Yeah.
Dude, without any context or any knowledge of the books or anything, I feel like at the end of that season, I mean, what are the odds that Omni-Man's going back to try and just like destroy Viltrum? Like, what are
You
the
think
Yeah.
that's where he's
odds?
going?
Very low.
I don't
No?
He's
know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with Jared. I
I
don't know on this one. There's a chance.
I don't think he's gonna do that hard of a turn. Maybe he goes back and tells that world that they're a big threat. Maybe we hold off on them for now, at least buying us some time because
Hmm.
they're they're conquering group and like civilization. They want to take over everything. And if they hear that one place is really strong, maybe they'll hold off and have to gather people. So it will give Earth time. But I don't think he's going to be able to change that many people's perspectives. Also, I don't know how strong, like, he's obviously a top warrior for them, but I don't think he could take them all out. Like, there's
No.
a
I
whole
mean,
nation.
even that immortal guy was like just one, essentially the opposite version of him, and he gave him like a tough go.
Run for his
Beat him
So
money.
twice.
yeah, yeah. So it's tough, and also he seemed so. By the way, he was just brutally not murdering, but like beating the shit out of Mark towards the end. Like I don't. He's clearly very committed to his cause. I know he has reservations about it, obviously, since he was crying when he was going away and like remembered that whole baseball game and everything like that. But he also seems very committed to the Viltrumites. So maybe that'll be something that gets explored over the across the entire series.
I could see
Take some
that.
stones to call your wife a pet.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Dude, when he went into space, I don't know if it was just me, but like the way the tears were animated made it look really funny cuz it looked like they were just coming out like really fast. Like he was like He's like, I didn't mean to kill myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think the animation definitely could have been like better, but for like an Amazon show, just like trying out, seeing where it's going, like I think it was pretty impressive.
Very
I think it
much
popped
so.
off enough that it's gonna come back and look a lot nicer next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. What was it? 8 episodes? Do you think they're gonna keep that for the series? Because that's how long The Boys was too. So it seems like
I
we're
would
doing eight
I would say
episodes.
that's pretty standard. I'd say it's probably
Reasonable.
gonna be around 8, maybe 10 if they added 2 or something.
Bonus content.
They added two behind the scenes.
I thought
Yeah.
it was really interesting too, like that animation style in general. Like, I'm not sure that, like, there were definitely some wonky parts where it was like, okay, you could see how, like, I remember this one time Mark gets hit by a bus, or he like gets flung into a bus, and it's like the same image of him like flipped 3 or 4 times as he flips, and like you could see
Yeah.
how some of those could be, add some more frames or whatever, make it look a little more crisp. But in
Yeah.
general, like, how do you upgrade that style of art? Because it's like just so present in all of these animated
More
shows, and
more
DC's
frames and higher
embracing it.
from I know very little about animation, obviously, but from what I have learned, usually from like Corridor Crew or some stuff like that, is that it's like the higher frame rates, and obviously just make like it more detailed between each thing. So instead of having it like kind of like jarring things like that, more kind of like a flow.
Sure,
Yeah,
But for the most part, I think it worked.
yeah, it was
definitely.
fun. I told my parents to watch it, and the first thing my mother said when she was telling me what she thought about it, she was like, "I felt like the animation, like I was going back to watching like Scooby Doo." I was like,
We talking
uh,
1960s or like what's
it
new, Scooby?
Yeah, the old maybe 90s Scooby Doo. We'll give it 90s, not 60s Scooby Doo.
We'll meet her
But
somewhere in
like
the middle.
somewhere in the middle. But I saw what she meant by that. But that's what I'm saying. Like I think they'll make that jump so that it's just a little bit more smoother.
Yeah.
But
But
to have like that as the number one complaint about coming out of like your first season, that
yeah,
clearly a lot of people like are new. That's a pretty good thing to just come out with. Like that's the only thing people are complaining
with
about.
more money, that's the easiest thing to fix.
Oh yeah.
You got Bezos backing that up, so you know that the money's coming their way after the
Big
viewership.
Daddy
It's already been
Bezos coming in hot.
it's already been renewed for
He's
seasons two and
coming
three,
in
I
for that
think.
season 2 and 3.
Really?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about saying how long, like how many seasons there were renewed for, because it's like you're not killing the anticipation, but it's like, well, we know it won't end in season two or something like that. So it's a very small emotion. I'm not like this
I
ruined the
guess
show for me,
it's
but it's
better
like
than
also
during season 2 being like, hope it doesn't get canceled this season,
yeah.
which is
But
always a
I
sad
like
thing.
that about the boys is like I have no like there was numerous times during the boys when I was watching where I'm like this could end right here and like they would have to work it through, but like this is it. And then they're like, nope, next season. Nope, next season. And I'm like, when are you gonna end? It's like
What's gonna happen?
you know the ending's coming, but you have no idea when it's coming. So I
Yeah.
kind of like that anticipation. But that again, very very small complaint, and that has like nothing to do. That's more of like the business level people rather than the show
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
The thing that I think the show did very well was building the whole world, though. Like they
Hmm.
got in a lot of different elements in 8 episodes. Like the
Yeah,
whole they had that I think his name is Rex, the alien that the main character Mark would just go talk to on the
yeah,
moon
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
I loved that both of those sequences when he was talking to him. It was just a really cool way of like establishing more of like there's other worlds out there. We're both knowledgeable of these conquering race and
yeah,
also like trying to be self-aware and like trying to warn other people about it as well. Like obviously that's a pretty big threat. And
yeah,
he's already part of like a society of people going to each place and they're already talking about Vultramites. So I thought that
yeah.
was a cool way of like establishing some world building. I think the whole show they just did a really good job with establishing characters and world building.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be reservations about superheroes now, like going forward in this universe. After clearly they're like their greatest one killed all the other great ones, and like now you have this Invincible guy who's like seems to be pretty powerful too. I wonder if the public's going to start to kind of be like less okay with them existing, and we're like, can we get these under control, or like kind of how the public reacts to time and how much time's going to pass between the seasons, because obviously that has a big influence on it as well. So,
dude, the property damage in that show.
My god!
If you calculated it all up,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
People,
dude, that scene.
Just the scene where he's getting beat up by his dad.
Yeah, peace out.
Ridiculous. Chicago, by Chicago,
and Chicago, yeah.
They went to a mountain and then caused an avalanche and destroyed a whole little town. Like, dude, wherever they went, they destroyed something.
He hit him so hard it like cracked the whole mountain, like through the range. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that scene where Omni-Man like grabs his son to like show him how pathetic humans are, and it's just like shoving him in the train while they're all just coming right at him. I was like, brutal. This is ridiculous right now. I cannot believe that.
Dude, his flailing was just like hitting the people's faces.
Oh my god. Imagine going through that. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. He's just holding you right there.
And you're not even gonna die.
It's a pretty powerful. That whole sequence was pretty powerful, though. Like, he's showing how little he cares about humans in a very terrible way.
Yeah.
While using his son as a weapon to destroy other humans, to show like, hey, if you're not with me, this is how easy it is for me to like just screw up your whole life. Like, how do you feel after all that?
Ugh.
Yeah. It was like what Loki said in the Avengers, where he was like, an ant has no quarrel with a boot. Like, he's like, but we don't think about it when we step on ants. Like, it's just because they're that far beneath us.
Yeah.
So you can, like, in a really, really fucked up way, you can kind of see where Omni-Man's coming from.
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
Still, though.
Well, he called his wife a pet, but
still.
He likes his wife, but he sees her as a pet. Can you imagine, like, what he thinks of everybody else? They are quite literally ants. That's a perfect analogy. Like,
he doesn't
stepping on an anthill.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bad man.
Interesting. See where this goes and see how everybody reacts.
Yeah, Invincible needs to learn that karate chop that just slices people in half.
Dude, where he was like holding him, was like
ASAP.
Dude, yeah. I felt like Adam Eve was underpowered because she supposedly can like do whatever with matter, control matter and whatnot, and I was like, she should just like switch Omni-Man's blood to dead cells or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very slow to pick up on the fact that she could just change matter completely, because one episode she just like takes away the door of her front house, and I was like, hold on, I thought you could like pink like laser beams or something. Now all of a sudden you're creating completely changing matter in itself. I was like, oh, okay, you're like Scarlet Witch kind of deal here.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll explore that as you go on, like how she like gets more control over that. But that's a hard thing to do with anybody that has reality warping powers. It's like, why don't you just pull this out right off the bat? And it's like, well, because then there wouldn't be a story.
And I think all the craziest stuff she did off screen. Yeah. Like, she was going like across the nation. She was like fixing like farms and like floods, drought, that sort of thing. And she was just going around. So like, I feel like we haven't gotten to see on screen some of the effects that she can have. I think they did a lot of off screen stuff for her.
Definitely.
For a reason, whether that be budget wise or they just didn't want to show
probably
how crazy she
probably
is.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely interested to see how Immortal comes back again.
Yeah.
After
Is
getting ripped
he
in half
can't
this time.
die? Like, is he gonna come back
His
again?
name is Immortal.
The
I
thing is,
don't
though,
think he
like,
can die.
how was he gonna come back if they hadn't like put his head and stuff back on? How if would he have still been immortal, or is it like he's immortal if you like connect all of his parts, like
He
use
needs a
some
little help.
crazy machinery, breathe life into his lungs? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting. I don't know if that's going to be like a main focus of the show, but I'd definitely be interested to see like if how the extent to his immortality. But
One plot line that I was a little not fully all on board for was Robot. His
interesting.
kind of just came out of nowhere, and like you think like, oh wait, whose side is he on? And then he's working with the two guys, but then he immediately tries to get him back in jail. So like, okay, he's good, but he's just trying to like get his life figured out. And then he just becomes a boy. And I was just like, oh, that was the whole thing. That was all that ambiguity. Okay. All right.
Well,
He's a
maybe
boy.
there's more to the story. Maybe we haven't seen all of Robot yet. We'll see. I liked him. I definitely was like, this is interesting, but I wasn't like.
I like him. I just
I don't
thought it
know.
was a little odd.
You
Fair
should
enough,
have
fair
stayed
enough.
slug form. Just learn how to like move around during that. Get rid of the robot
You'd have,
drones.
No, he should like be outside the robot and be on like a little backpack, like Luke and Yoda.
I like it.
Yeah.
Death
And
Stranding.
that way, if like he's in danger, he could like quick grab the slug, like throw him.
Little blaster on the back.
Slug, go! Yeah. He's, like,
And
away.
there was just like a couple like really cool ideas that they did for this show that I really liked. The whole guy that keeps cloning himself, and then they both don't know who the clone is. I love that. That's a really
was so
cool
funny.
thing.
Cool.
It causes for some good banter of them just being like, "You're an idiot. 'Cause
Say
you're
it.
a clone."
Say it. I'm the clone. That was great.
On a less story based praise of the show, I think in the era that we live in, how many different, not only with Marvel and DC, but also all the other different superhero shows out there, like The Boys, Jupiter Legacy, or whatever that's called. Like the costume or the design for like their costume and stuff is still pretty original, and like definitely I wasn't like you're scratching on the bottom of the bucket for this. Like it was definitely, they put a lot of effort into like the costumes themselves that I thought were pretty cool.
Well, they had a character in the show specifically for costume
Yeah,
making. I thought that
love
was
that.
really neat.
Yeah.
I love that. I loved it in Incredibles, and I love it now.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
The costumes had been shitty, you could just blame it on that guy. Be like, well, they tried. His outfit was nice. The Taylor's outfit, great, best outfit in the show.
They didn't get the memo on their capes yet, apparently.
I would love to have a costume with the no top so I can show my hair. I love that. I think that's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's one of the cool things about animation is like that. If this stuff was real life, it's like
it's not practical.
You have to justify everything, like why they have that thing around their entire head or whatever, or like how their suit works. But like animation, you're just like, fuck it, looks cool, let's go. Like let's just all in.
Yeah, I'm convinced most super powerful like superheroes would have to be bald. Like, think about how many explosions they're going through, like how fast they're going. There's no way your hair could keep up with all that friction.
Yeah. I was thinking about, I don't remember there being any, besides whatever his name was, the guy that was like beating the shit out of Omni-Man and he got his like head squeezed. I couldn't think of any other speedsters, but recently I was thinking about how like cool that'd be just to show like when somebody's running, like how much bugs they get on their face that are just like they just run into because they can't like avoid all those, and they just like have to like wipe it off afterwards. Like always bring a handkerchief or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was mad they killed off the
Red
speedster
Rush.
right off the bat. Yeah, Red Rush. I was mad they killed off the speedster right off the bat.
I know. Every damn time. My favorite character speedsters. I love that freaking power. Every time, insta-death. They're done.
Mm-hmm.
Too hard to write 'em.
Yeah, and too hard to show. I think they always say that's why there hasn't been like a Flash video game because it'd be like impossible. But I want it. Give it to me, DC.
I also think Vince went into the question who would really win in like just a random encounter, Batman v Superman, because you had Omni-Man grab the Batman character and just kind of smack him down on the ground and was just dead.
Dude, yeah. No challenge. Batman was like,
kryptonite
batarangs!
That could be a whole nother episode, that conversation right there.
Very true. Speaking of, did we see anything that like could damage the Viltrumites or like was like a weakness for them? Because I remember the one scene they were like looking at Mark's cells, like his blood cells, and like everything that they tried to do to them, like they resisted it. So, besides,
they seem to be sliced in half pretty easily.
True.
I think you have to be a Viltrumite. Yeah, the karate chop. We just need to get some kung fu going. I think that's the.
Get Bruce Lee. I don't know if he's no. Bruce Lee's dead. Jackie Chan. Let's get Jackie Chan in.
Also, I'm looking at the cast list right now. This is probably the most stacked cast of voice actors I have ever seen on a show. Like you're talking about like
that's where the budget went.
Why was the animation a little janky at times? The cast is the end.
Yeah.
You've got 100%. The guy, the main character is the guy from Walking Dead. You've got J.K. Simmons. You've got like so many big names. Mark Hamill's in this.
Wait, who did Mark Hamill play?
The Joker.
Art Rosebaum.
Maybe I saw a picture.
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now. Although that's always Mark Hamill.
I like how you were like, oh, I know who. No, I don't know.
I was leaving on the fence. But that, like, I usually can tell, I'm like, wait, that's that person. Mark Hamill's the one person where I'm like, wait, that's Mark Hamill? And then I'm like, oh shit, that is Mark Hamill. Now I can hear it.
Yeah, yeah, he can do a lot with his voice.
He has skills.
I respect his voice acting skills.
Yeah, like and Seth Rogen was the guy.
The moon dude.
I thought that was funny. He's got a very recognizable voice. I knew that was Seth Rogen right away. Yeah, we didn't get a nice Seth Rogen laugh.
No, we need to get a laugh.
Yeah. That was not better. I thought I was leaving it, but I couldn't stop thinking about whether mine would be better, and it was not.
Let me just toss this out there.
Whoa. Couldn't pull it back in.
So you squeeze the toothpaste out of a toothpaste holder.
Yeah.
The tube? The tube. Listen, my vernacular's not up to snuff. I'm gonna make this a thing on the podcast, Jared. Just accept it.
His vernacular is pristine.
Once an episode, I will say vernacular, and it will be about my vernacular.
Well, it's been 3 times now, so you can't say it for the next 2 episodes.
No, that's not how it works out. I have to say at least once. There's no cap.
No cap.
But yeah, all in all, Invincible, pretty good season 1, and I'm definitely excited to.
4 out of 4. Flip dips.
If there was 3 sandwiches, and one was roast beef, one was turkey, and one was tuna salad,
it would be roast beef.
I would probably say turkey breast.
Turkey breast.
If that clears it up, how I felt about the show.
Jared?
What's your rating for the show?
I'm going to give it like 3 smiley faces, but the middle one is a winky face.
Ooh, oh, that's a
Saucy.
very good. That's the best rating any show to date has gotten on this
That's
podcast.
Jared's
Everyone.
top rating.
Yeah,
Quite literally, yeah.
it's pretty
Ladies
good.
and gentlemen, this
I like
is the best reviewed show on this podcast. Go out there, watch it. Give Daddy Bezos another
and
dollar.
subscribe. Comment what you think about
Doesn't
that.
have enough after the divorce.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, he's like, please, watch my Invincible. Please. Also,
Please.
my GoFundMe.
Haven't set that up yet, but you can just mail me some dollars.
My Venmo is at I own your life.
Yeah.
26.
Fair.
26.
Fair.
So
all right.
the other things that have been. Oh, you know what? Actually, just right before we got in here, I think I saw. I totally forgot about this till right now. I think there was a new Loki trailer.
Was there?
What's there?
It may either it was a new trailer or it was Disney being like, here's
trailer.
another
Trailer.
cut of the same
yeah.
shots.
It's probably that.
More than likely.
There is a Loki 2 trailer.
Loki 2.
Loki.
This first
Loki
season hasn't
2,
come
what
out
the
yet.
Loki, sorry, Loki
Loki
trailer 2.
Loki 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, I'm watching it, but it's whoa. Oh, it's not actually anything. It's the man. Look at him. Behold his face. Behold
Tom Biddle.
a
What a
Tom
beautiful
god.
man.
Middleton.
A god. Thomas.
Quite literally.
Thomas was just talking about the show. That dude,
How-
Loki,
How hype are we for that show?
very extremely hype.
I'm very excited for the show, especially after seeing that one trailer and how it's like dealing with like the time travel implications. Because reminded me, and now that you both have seen it, or more so Winnie,
Legion.
reminded me a lot of Legion. When they were in that like weird kind of like funky, like they dealt with like
drew the
I don't even know what it was. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
like
those
that's
weird
what it reminded me of.
time demon things.
No, not the time demons, but like the organization.
Yeah.
Where that's what it reminded me of a lot of. Like this is just weird, but they deal with like really powerful things, and so I'm interested. But I have reservations about the finale. We'll see how they're able to cap it off. It seems like Disney Plus is still working on their finale game a little bit. I haven't been blown away by a finale yet from the show. I've liked both WandaVision, Falcon, and Winter Soldier, but I've never been like both those shows. I was not like, wow, this finale is fucking incredible.
This finale's
Yes, I would have to
phenomenal.
agree with you.
So
That is
And
something to watch out for.
people love Loki. So if they do him dirty, like that's gonna upset a lot of people
Yeah.
because he's like the
Mhm.
most beloved
Marvel villain probably. He's
Pretty
not even a
much.
villain anymore. He's
villain
like an
though.
anti-hero.
Like he's an anti-hero. Yeah,
Yep.
I would say beloved anti-hero.
Yeah.
I-
When I first heard
I
Oh,
hope he
yeah.
dies every season.
Yo, that would be a good little gimmick. It would fit into the Loki the Loki kind of thing.
I want him to die just continuously all the time because
It's a shtick.
I'm never gonna believe it now. When he dies, like we're gonna be like 5 years in the future. I'm like, when's the next Loki thing coming out? Like he's not.
And then Tom Hiddleston actually dies in real life, and we're like, yeah, okay, Thomas. I'll believe it when I see the next Loki trailer.
Yeah, because he can survive anything. He's
Apparently,
He is a god.
a god of
The
mischief.
son
Well,
of Odin.
Such a trickster.
such a trickster.
I always
Yeah,
love that
and that's
the,
Go on.
the story that Thor tells about
on.
being a kid and Loki stabbing him with a knife. And then he
Always
stabbed me
loved
with a knife.
He's like, I always pick up those snakes to admire the snake because I've always loved snakes. And when I'm Loki, and stabbed me. It's a cool joke. He like looks over at Loki, and Loki just like smiles to himself.
he gets him back with get help though.
That's true.
Very true.
Many
Apparently,
times.
he's been doing that for what 1,500 years now. So
Yeah.
you Can you blame Loki?
Apparently it works. Tried and true.
It never stopped working.
Yeah, 100%. And that comes out June 9th. Oh, that's next month. That's coming up.
Dude.
Marvel serving us all year long.
I'm going to be eating. I'm going to be feasting. Give me it all, Disney. Give me it all.
Let me get it.
Let me get it. Bring it on. Dude, but when do you think we'll ever see a time in our life, or let's just say even like within the next 10 years, do you think it's possible for DC to see any type of revival to the point where it even somewhat comes close to what Disney is pulling off? 10 years.
I don't think that would happen in the next 10 years because Marvel has this universe and DC doesn't have that. They'll beat Marvel in certain aspects just by making a good movie.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work that they have to do to catch up to Marvel's universe building that they have done. Like, and see, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, go on.
What I was gonna say is I think that DC has like realized that they shouldn't try to copy the Marvel formula, since obviously that did not work out from Man of Steel to the first Justice League, which was kind of like a mixed bag of like some okay movies, some good, mostly bad. But so I think where DC it has its greatest strength, but also its greatest weakness is that DC movies can be a lot better because they're like they'll be like, yo, you have a vision, go for it, rated R, sure, I don't care, just like fulfill this vision. But what has Marvel making so much money is that you have this universe that's like, I need to see the next chapter. I need to see the next chapter because it's all connected and all flows into each other, which is why you have movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp making 600 million, even though it's not that great a movie. It's just because it's the next Marvel movie versus DC's like, oh wait, is Joker, is that going to be connected to the Batman? Or what about this other Batman over here? That's a different actor. Like we're about to have 3 Batman in the course of 1 year. So it's which I'm excited for as a fan, but as like if I was a financial advisor to DC, I'd be like, maybe like push the big universe that's all connected like a little bit harder, but definitely still keep doing these Elseworld type stories because they're cool and allows for more creative freedom.
Yeah. Dude, it kind of actually reminds me a little bit of when X-Men started to do all of this stuff with time and the different time like universes essentially, right? It was like instantaneously with each movie release, it became more confusing and harder to keep track of the order, where things were taking place, who was relevant, what threats were relevant, and it was like killing the whole thing because you were like, these characters don't mean that much to me in this moment, you know, because I don't know what this moment is.
Yeah. DC's got to tread carefully. But I'm personally really excited for a number of things that DC is coming out with. Possibly more so than Marvel, but Marvel just has so many things coming out. It's hard to say.
Yeah. It's going to be a long road.
What's Twilight guy's name?
Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson. I think I would love to see the character from Twilight become Batman, because don't vampires turn into bats anyway? Like he could be a literal Batman.
Or a little vampire.
How to ruin
I'm a vampire,
the story.
I'll play a vampire, and then I'll just become a bat.
How DC can ruin the story of the upcoming Batman
already
movie.
Doesn't go out during the day.
He's pale as hell.
I'm just saying.
Robert Pattinson, in case you're listening, I think your skin complexion is superb.
And his biggest new enemy is Bearman.
Bearman versus Batman. Formerly.
If you've seen the Twilight series, the one girl's dad talks about the Bearman just killing everybody throughout.
What?
It's because he doesn't
fear the Bearman.
The bear's
There's
been
no
killing
way
people for 6 years long.
It's like
on a
Florida Man.
rampage.
That guy's
Jared,
just been everywhere.
Is it like
if
Man
I'm
Bear
being
Pig?
honest, I'm kind of surprised that you're not a Florida man right now. You're not the next Florida man. And it's disappointing me as a man in Florida that you haven't really adopted that persona yet.
Listen,
If I don't see you or Tim on the news anytime soon, I'm going to be pissed.
Florida Man coming strong. Don't you worry. I'm building up my resume.
I don't care if it's
Florida
bath
Man
salts. I
vibes
don't
are
care
charging.
if
Preparing
Yeah.
for Florida Man moments. I can't stop myself from not wearing a mask in Walmart. I'm yelling at everyone around me.
I will
So,
beat somebody to death with a toaster oven.
What about the Venom trailer?
Oh, dude.
Intriguing, to say the
Are
least.
we?
I can't.
What's the excitement level?
We doing another ranking system?
I would
No,
rate it.
we're not. We're not.
I
ranking.
rated. I'm gonna rate my hype on just like a sound, like a pitch.
Okay.
And if it's like if I'm screaming, it's like The Witcher 4 is impending. But if I'm like,
Oh.
then it's like new DC movie coming out pretty soon. But I would rate this a solid like. I think it'll be pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. I enjoyed the first Venom movie. And I know that there are a lot of people who didn't enjoy it or who at least reviewed it very poorly. I thought it was a very fun watch. I didn't think it was something that you could necessarily delve into with like deep cinematic intent.
Didn't have a lot of complexity to it.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time.
Yeah, and it was like I was thinking back to like, the first Captain America movie or like even the first Iron Man movie, first Thor movie, like at least the first Thor movie specifically, and I was like, I don't like this any less. Right? Like I like this just as much as I liked those.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. I think
It's a
that's
fun movie. That's sound.
If you are going into it expecting it to be a part of a universe or a continuing like huge or like arc of some sort, then you're expecting too much out of it going into it. I think if you go into it just hoping that you get a fun movie, you're going to enjoy it. But if you go into it as a die-hard like Marvel fan, then you're going to be a little let down, I think.
Yeah, you're going to be let down by the fact that Venom's origin is completely untied from Spider-Man. Like, not even in that web. Get it?
Dude,
I thought you were about to do like a... Yeah, I was like... But no, as for Venom 2 itself, I think that, like, first trailer's clearly like a very, not a serious thing, but like a very real thing about like we don't know what vibe we're going for yet. So we're just kind of throwing out there. We're seeing what people liked about the trailer. We're seeing what people disliked and kind of like editing the movie or changing the movie to like kind of fit that tone. It seemed, from what I saw, it seemed a lot like the first one, kind of like he's like getting used to it, but he's like been with it. And I'm mainly interested to see if it's going to be rated R, because to have Carnage in there and not have something rated R, it just seems wrong. It just seems wrong.
Dude, it could be sick if it was rated R. I mean, that could be a legitimately terrifying movie too. I don't know, like, do you know who's writing it, Cole?
I don't know who's writing it. I know that Ruben Fleischer directed the first movie, which he doesn't really have like a huge like back catalog of like really good movies. I don't know if this is his first movie, but this next one is directed by Andy Serkis. If you don't know, that's Gollum from Lord of the Rings. That's Claw from Black Panther, Caesar from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So definitely interesting to see. I was like, Andy Serkis, what the hell? I didn't know you're in the directing
Everyone's
field.
in morph suits the whole time. There's no real people.
Basically,
it's just 100 golems.
So it's written by Kelly Markle.
Okay. Does she have a history with the film?
Let's see.
This is what it
Her
all
first-
comes down to here.
This
DC.
is the first thing she's ever done.
Oh no, dude. Oh no.
Oh, no.
DC is exporting their writers over to Sony.
Yeah, I don't
Not looking.
know what she's done. She's done. Oh gosh. Okay.
I don't like that face.
She's done Cruella DeVille, the new one
The Emma Stone.
that's coming out soon. She also did 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, that's come on. Top. That's like.
She also did
That's top
Saving
tier.
Mr. Banks, which Saving Mr. Banks is a good movie, but I'm not quite sure where these two movies.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You got like Cruella, like nice kind of Disney lighthearted movies. I mean, minus 50 Shades
She
of Grey.
saved Mr. Banks, and then she was like, "How do I kill Mr. Banks, though?" And she was like, "I think a symbiote will be my key."
Yeah,
I
so
feel like-
that will be interesting.
What I wish, which obviously we're too past it now, is I feel like Guillermo del Toro would do a really good job with a Venom movie.
Dude.
Because he's already into like kind of like the Cronenberg kind of like weird monster kind of elements. And he obviously is capable of making a really good movie with like Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, and Hellboy. So I feel like he'd be a good fit. I'd be interested to see what he would do with it. But I mean, obviously that's so
Yeah.
I'll just keep dreaming.
The one thing that does throw me off about Venom in pretty much any movie where what's his face is in it,
Woody Harrelson.
What? Woody Harrelson. Why do they keep giving him like this luscious hair? It
'Cause
throws
he
me off.
wants it. He wants it.
It's better than the Little Debbie wig from the last movie.
It is.
When I saw his new hair, I was like, "Oh, thank God they changed it." Like, I know he'd be in Carnage form most of the movie, but like the Little Debbie wig, I was like, if he like his face comes back, because obviously they gotta get the star power, I'd be like, "Dude, shave your head." I'd be fine if like I don't need the red hair.
He's one of the few characters that every time I see him in the movie, I'm like, no, you're bald. Like,
Well, it's called acting, Jared. He's acting like he has hair.
He acts like he has hair 24/7.
That's why he acts.
Yeah, so he can get the hair. He wants the
I
hair.
think we need-
He can't afford it.
I think we need to save those roles for people with hair.
Wait. I think you're onto something here, Jared. Hold on.
I think we're taking jobs away from people with hair.
And is it not harassed or something to
Heresy.
employ
Heresy.
a bald man to play a haired man's role?
In 2021, Woody Harrelson, you should just turn down the offer.
You should know that the bald movies are clearly his only place. With a head like that, it could be the next Eggman.
Come on, Woody.
On a more serious note, Woody Harrelson has like a mixed bag of like movies. He's been in really good movies. He's been in really bad movies. But what I can always say, kind of like Ben Mendelsohn, is that they kill it whatever movie they're in. Like they are the star of the show. So I think it was a good decision to cast him. Even if the movie's not great, I feel like Carnage himself is probably going to be like really fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
or I mean,
I agree
hopefully
with that.
scary too. But Woody Harrelson always does a really good job. It doesn't matter what the material is.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. Pretty much anything he's in, he usually, like you said, steals the show. So, but for him being the villain, I think that's great because we're
Yeah.
gonna be really intrigued in the villain, unlike
Mhm.
a certain Winter Soldier and
Both got red curly hair. They should have put him in
Coincidence?
that too. He should have been the villain in there. Still same character, little 16-year-old girl played by Woody Harrelson.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So overall, I'm hoping maybe the second trailer kind of like gives it a little bit more meat to like chew into, or like kind of sets like a more definitive vibe for the movie. But I'm really hoping for that rated R. That's what I'm holding out for.
I think they're definitely still gonna go for the comedy gore I hope gore because I want it rated R, but I think they're definitely gonna keep the comedy vibe. I mean, in the trailer, the him talking in his head is still very prominent. So I think that's their main shtick throughout the movie.
That's what people really liked about the first movie was the interplay between Venom and Eddie Brock itself. So clearly that's gonna be a strong element. I'm wondering if maybe they'll do something like the relationship gets strained and it can kind of be like not a divorce, but like maybe be like a breakup kind of movie like halfway through.
Like a nice little montage of them missing each other.
I can totally see that.
Together.
Venom going in other people's bodies and being like, too small.
This is weird. Or like he's
too
like
much
fully,
of a bitch.
Like he'll be like, my first host loved me, so he'll probably just like jump on and like he's like, hey, I'm Venom or whatever, and the guy's like, what the fuck is this? And it's like freaking out. He's like, oh, my first host loved me.
My first host used to make me waffles every morning.
Yeah. So we shall see. I think that's coming out while we're at Firefly, so we'll have to
we can
watch that.
Use big data. We'll use big data.
Yeah.
I'll bring a VR headset.
We'll bring a white sheet. Yeah, we'll bring a white sheet and a projector, and we'll watch it while we're there.
Or if like the headliner for that day is like Lizzo or something, we just take the bus. Go watch
Hold
Venom
on.
and then come back.
You know, if one of those people like Lizzo's on, for example.
I'm interested for like I'm gonna watch The Killers and Tame Impala and Billie Eilish. We'll see. I just could not care less about.
Dude, I'm totally gonna see Billie Eilish. Come on. Also, I can't help but call Lizzo Lizard, cause like I think the first time I saw her name, I said Lizard, and since then I see her name, I think Lizard, and anyone says it, and that's all I hear.
Well, I don't. If somebody says Lizzo, I don't think of the singer. I think of like an actual lizard, like that, kind of like how we have little funny nicknames for stuff. Like, oh, look at that little Lizzo.
Little Lizzo, little gecko, little Lizzo,
little gecko, little Lizzo, little gecko. Match made in heaven.
Oh man, we kind of missed on the Bad Batch. I don't know.
We can hit that next week.
Yes. What? And then we'll have more content.
Maybe that's better for you, Jared.
Yes.
It's like almost like you didn't watch it.
No, all of us have seen it.
I watched it like 47 times. The problem, the sad thing is that I watched it like 40 times in preparation for this. And now all that stuff that's rattling around, just wanting to come out, I can't do it.
It's like constipation. You got a lot of poop in the bowels, but it's not spurting out. It's like just all clogged up, like you got a cork up there.
Clogged.
So you gotta reach inside there and pull out.
I gotta hold it for a whole week.
Fingers crossed that by next week Jared can pull the cork out of his butt. We'll
Unlikely.
It seems pretty deep in there. It's
gonna be great.
Amazing.
It's good.
Well,
it's gonna be great.
Everyone that is not watching, we know there's so many of you not watching right now. It's really awesome to see there's just troves of people out there just scrolling by. If there's one person out here who watched this, you, sir or madam, you're a star.
Entitled.
You earn 100 golden ducats and 100 galleons from the Gringotts Bank.
Gryffindor.
But for real, sorry, Cole. For real, thank you. If anyone is watching, thank you so much. We're gonna try to keep this up on a weekly basis if we are skilled enough to do that, and I think it'll be a really fun time getting to kind of talk with everybody, see what the community is like, find some internet friends.
Accent slowly slipped in there. Internet friends.
Quick plug, for all those people watching, if you want to catch me, I'm going to be doing my first stand-up at Spitfire Spitfire in Tampa, Florida. So if you're in the area, come check me out.
That is Jarod
also
Bitterman
plug
for
from a
you.
sponsor we don't have. This video was sponsored by Raycon.
I got my
and Raid Shadow Legends.
got my Raycon wireless earbuds, and these oh man, they're crisp.
Get the sound.
You can
So
hear
Raycon
both
sponsor
sides. The audio's on
We already did.
two sides.
We already did the video for you.
Yes, Raycon, come to us.
Yeah, for all the people watching, if you know Raycon himself, Mr. Ray,
Mr. Raycon.
Mr. Khan.
if you can get into, if you can get a communication with Mr. Khan, that'd be great for us.
First name Ray, last name.
Just saying, Raid Shadow Legends will take anything. Harry
Yep.
Racer Club, anything.
I'll shave things.
I'll shape.
What? On camera. I'll do it. I'll do it live. I'll demonstrate. All right. I think it's time to stop.
All right.
Everyone,
Yeah.
this has been the Sci-Fi Rebellion, and
Keep on rebelling.
we'll be back. Doodle-up, doodle-up, doop, doop, bop, boop.
Free beep beep.
Scooby-Doo, skidly-doo, bop.
Raycon wireless. And that'll be the end of the
them out.
video. Oh wait, and actually it's not. Like and subscribe. Like the
Yes, do that.
video. We almost
that.
forgot. I was so distracted by Raycon wireless that you, the person not watching right now, I had to make sure our sponsor was
I had to make sure our
covered.
sponsor is interested in sponsoring us.
Yeah,
All right.
like, subscribe. Peace out, homies.
Bye. And there it is. We've done it. We did it, boys.
How long did we just
All right.
talk? I was so lost in our time.
Yeah, I don't
About
know.
an hour.